Embrace pure divine love as you look around the room. Do it with your inner eye cascading out of your visual cortex. See the light and the luminosity that is right here in this room, and expand your consciousness and see all of the beings who are streaming in from around the globe. If you project yourself in a very powerful way, you can even see the beings who will watch this in the future on their archives, because they're right here already in the time and space collapsing of past, future, and present. So begin to feel all of those sweet beings, and then become aware that you're releasing a silent prayer on behalf of the beings that are here this evening. For all of these beings, you have an inner desire that they wake up, that they, as you desire, have a spiritual realization of your oneness with pure spirit, your oneness with God, your oneness with life itself. Now come vibrationally closer and look at one of the sweet beings sitting near you, next to you, in front of you, behind you. Look at that being. Look at them up and down. Now look them in the eyes. Laugh. Get rid of that nervous laughter. Now look at them and very reverentially say, "Oh my God. God, there's such beauty in you. Oh my God, there's such joy in you. There's such power in you. Love and beauty. Prosperity and joy. Intelligence and wisdom. You've got the glow. You've got the brilliance. You've got the luminosity. Let's allow for our light to so shine that we change the world for the better. In the here and now. Let's do this." And so it is. Oh, touch and agree. And feel the vibratory frequency of the living, dynamic field that you have now co-created together as a community. A field of such love and rich beauty and joy. And as we love to remind us, are you guys still talking? Oh. Exchanging numbers? What's going on? Why don't you just meet in Alice's Quiet Mind bookstore right after this, you know what I mean? And then you have wonderful, wonderful stories to tell your children. We were in a Wednesday night service and we kind of just met in Alice's Quiet Mind bookstore. She had spiritual liberation in her hand and I had life visioning in my hand. And we were drawn to each other inexplicably. The answer was us. Anyway, where was I? Somewhere in the eternal. We were talking about the fact that, as we love to always remind ourselves when we come into community, that we're co-creating a living field. And I always teach that that field is real, just as real as a magnetic field, just as real as gravity. Both of those fields you cannot necessarily see with your senses, but they affect you nevertheless. And there are fields in the world of beliefs that are held together by conversation and perception, beliefs around scarcity and lack and limitation, separation, original sin, not enoughness, that type of thing. And they generate fields of energy that people get hooked into those kind of belief systems and end up being a self-fulfilling prophecy of not fulfilling one's total potential or the unfolding of infinite potential. When you come to a spiritual community that's rooted in the cosmology of oneness and wholeness, otherwise the presence and the power and the love is everywhere in its fullness. There's nowhere where it's not, and it is full everywhere, and it's always expressing, and it's even expressing everywhere, and when it's being suppressed by limited perception, it is still seeking to become conscious of itself as each and every one of us. So you have come together to help co-create a field of love and intelligence and beauty and joy and abundance, which are spiritual qualities, not material qualities, or spiritual qualities that show up in the material, and to revel in that, to spin in that, to love in that, to be in that, until that field, like a tuning fork, begins to be active in you. So you discover that you come in and the community tuning fork activates that living field of oneness and beauty and joy and abundance and self-love and appreciation and joy and compassion. And so that you notice that you have longer stints of that vibration of vibrating even when you leave the physical community as agape. And then you discover that you become a transforming agent in the world. You become a living tuning fork that creates a field everywhere you go, a field of love and beauty and joy and support and absolute bliss and ecstasy. And you find that then when you come into the community, you're amplifying the field, but you're also participating in it and giving it away everywhere that you go. So that you become self-sufficient, large self-sufficient. You become generative, and that is without seeking to get things from the world of effects and circumstances and people. You're generating that field because of a coherence that's created through your spiritual practice, your intentionality, your vision that is pulling you, and the articulation of best case scenarios throughout the course of your week, month, and year. That you live on a regular basis in best case scenarios, live in the consciousness of what if all of this good were to take place in my life? What if I realized that I had all of my needs met? What if I came to a realization that I am divinely supported by a spirit of the living God that never fails? What if God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and does not have an off button and is always giving of itself? What if all of my needs are met perennially, and I'm seeking merely to discover this and then to circulate it and to share it as only I can? When you live in that kind of question, and when you live in the wonderful best case scenario as a vibratory field, as you have allowed for that inner activation to take place as the tuning fork of the community is activating you, now every day begins to be a new beginning for your life, and you're able to tell the difference between the real you that is emerging from the field of wholeness and the small you, or the personality you, or the constellation of shifting identities that emerge through time and space and experience and things that we put on to protect ourselves and defend ourselves against the lesser fields. You're able to tell the difference between the two. And you're able to tell the difference because one is tonifying. It has a level of tonic quality. It uplifts, it heals, it inspires, it mends. It creates a level of possibility. And one has a level of toxicity. It pulls you down. You become weary and tired and depressed. And you live a life of up and down, up and down. Life is the way you want it. You're flying high. Things don't go the way you want. You're down in the dumps. You have an alternating state of consciousness. This alternating state of consciousness is an indication that we haven't found our true center yet. The true center that's at the center of the universe that changes not, and has become ultimately a dimension of, or it has become the activity of your awareness. It's who and what you are. So tonic or toxic ultimately becomes your choice. And as we have taught over the years, a choice is a function of awareness. It's a function of your expanded awareness. When in fact you're in your lesser state, and circumstances and situations are not going your way, and your happiness and joy is based upon that, then there's less awareness and there's less choice. What there's a great deal of is reaction. There's a tremendous amount of reaction to things, reaction to people, reaction to circumstances, reaction to events, but not that much choice. When, in fact, through spiritual practice, you become aware of your real self, some call it the higher self, the larger self, the eternal self, the unique self, the authentic self, the essential self, the spiritual self, that self, the capital S that's never been born and will never die, always unfolding to reflect and to reveal the eternal order of life and existence itself. When, in fact, that begins to be the activity of our awareness, we find that we live in great choice, and that you can stand up and say in substance or hear perhaps the sacred scripture that says, "Choose ye this day whom you shall serve, God or mammon, whom you shall serve, God or materialism, God or consumerism, God or worry, God or doubt, God or faith, God or fear, God or resentment. You get to choose what you are serving that day. And with your attention in the best case scenario, and with your attention in asking the empowering question, and the attention on who you're going to serve, there's a tonic and a tonifying vibratory frequency that begins to take over your life. And without you consciously thinking about it, the tonic chemicals rush through the body temple and vivify the cells, heal the DNA, so that you don't become a self-fulfilling prophecy of what you have inherited in terms of beliefs of the family. You begin to activate that which you have inherited from the divine. Unlimited possibility, illimitable good, divine wholeness and well-being. Tonic or toxic, it's your choice. Now, a way to understand whether or not you're in your tonic capacity or toxic limitation is to discover, are you primarily living for something? Or are you primarily living against something? If you're living for something, you're living for peace, for beauty, for creativity, for generosity, for compassion, for kindness, there's a tonic ideas flow through you. If you find throughout the course of your day you're generally against something, hypercritical, against something all of the time, then you're probably more in the toxic phase of your unfolding. If someone asks you what's going on and the first thing that comes out of your mouth is everything that you're against, it's probably a lot of toxicity and stagnation moving through the different bodies, subtle bodies, astral body, emotional body, and physical body. But if in fact you have trained and programmed the mind to ask the empowering questions and to live in the awareness of what if God is unlimited good? What if my life is an on purpose with a purpose? What if I am meant to succeed? What if I am meant to be happy? What if I am meant to be healthy? What if I am meant to live a life of joy and celebration and generosity? If, in fact, you're beginning to describe what your life is about, even if you can't outline how all of that is to happen, and that's not your job, but you can be specific in the qualities, you'll notice there's a level of a tonic vibration. And you begin to discover that your mind, your individualized expression of the divine mind, and your righteousness, your right useness of the sacred laws of mind and action, you begin to notice that as you're going throughout the course of your life, things are trending in an expanding manner, and trending in an expanding manner often without your mental willpower, excitement, or trying to make it happen. You have become privy to surrendering to the spiritual buoyancy of the universe. You've become available to the vibrational match of the excellence of the law that's operating and matching where your attention is on a regular basis. When you're floating on the ocean or in a swimming pool, you're not flailing around and trying to make yourself float. You're not banging your fist onto onto the water and trying to force yourself to float. No, you're letting go. You're relaxing. You're allowing, you're yielding, you're letting. And the buoyancy, the law of buoyancy lifts you. And it appears as if you're doing nothing, but you are doing something. You are having an attentiveness while you're surrendering. An attentiveness and surrender at the same time. When, in fact, you begin to ask best case scenario questions, empowering questions, there's an attentiveness What if this is the best day of my life? What if everything works together for my good? What if I'm really supported? What if I have everything that I need? And then there's a level of attentiveness, and a level of, that brings attentiveness, and then there's surrender to that vibration. The spiritual buoyancy now lifts you. Attentiveness and surrender. And you find yourself now choosing to be for something. And in this vibratory frequency of for something, tonic chemicals, tonic ideas, tonic mental patterns begin to take over your life. And the toxicity begins to dissolve. This is why Ernest Holmes once said, wouldn't it be wonderful if a group of people arrived on earth that were for something and against nothing? Wouldn't it be wonderful if a group of people arrived and they could articulate what they were about, could articulate what they were for, could articulate the qualities that they came to bring, could articulate the gifts that they came to share, could articulate the capacity that they came to cultivate and to circulate? Wouldn't it be wonderful if a group of people arrived that could articulate what they were about and were not always against something, but were for something? Oh, as that group of people has arrived, I'm deputizing you. It's you. It's you, boo. You are those people. You're in your prime. You're in your prime years. And that means whatever year you're in, that's your prime year. Whatever year you're hearing this truth, you're in your prime year. Whether you're 3 or 93 or any age between that, 103, whatever the case may be, you're in your prime moment to reveal and to catch something that's tonic in your awareness, and to choose the tonic over and over and over again until your whole life responds to it. And then what happens at buoyancy? You're carried. You're carried by it. You're carried by your empowering question. You're carried by what you are for. You're carried by the description of your life on a regular basis. You're carried, pulled, carried, pulled, carried, float, fly, glow, let go, surrender, yield, allow. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then those places that are entrenched with seeming negativity cannot withstand the luminosity of your mind becoming more and more brilliant, more and more luminous with possibility. And you develop the patience. Remember, infinite patience brings about immediate manifestation. When you develop that patience that is already happening, you can relax. You're not, it's here, it's now. Yeah, my eyes may not be able to see it, but they're lying. Perception of my eye, I can only see just a little tiny fraction of reality. I know it's not telling me the whole truth. So I have the patience. Manifestation of the tonic appears. Toxicity is transmuted into the tonic, that which tonifies the body and the mind. And now, who you are as a distinct, unique expression of the grand what, which is the presence, becomes a sacred law. You become a living law of progress, invincibility, a living law of progress, invincibility, unfoldment, and that which is coming out of your mouth being a blessing becomes a declaration and a decree. Just notice. It's just, we do not induce guilt. We induce awareness. So you just notice in your conversations throughout the course of the day, am I hanging out with everything that I'm against? Sometimes what you're against is in you. You're just putting it on somebody else. It's just bring it down home, okay? But is my conversation just what I'm against all the time? Or am I coming into the tonic? This is what I'm for. Peace, creativity, harmony, elegance, love, beauty. All my bodies respond to it. I find that I'm smiling more often, unwittingly, unconsciously. People say, why are you smiling? Oh, I'm smiling? I didn't know. Just, it's the way it is. Happiness must be happening. Joy must be happening. Peace must be happening. It must be happening in me. I'm choosing higher. I'm choosing the tonic. I'm choosing the expansive. I'm choosing God. 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 It's our choice with expanded awareness. You chose to be here tonight. You chose to get wet. Let all of this energy just wash over you right now. All this energy of love and peace and joy and harmony. Just look at your neighbor and just give them a dash of love. Just wash over them. Just give it up. Just say, I splash love on you. I splash peace on you. I splash joy on you. I splash absolute beauty on you. I splash prosperity on you. You're all wet with joy. You're all wet with beauty. You're all wet with spiritual power. You're all wet with the glory of God. You're all wet with your splash. It's raining love on us. It's raining peace. It's raining absolute joy. It's raining absolute peace. Yes. Yes. Get wet with God. Get wet with the Spirit. Wonderful. Eternal. Today. Wet. Feel it in your bones. Deep breath. Some of you screamed, some of you shouted, some of you laughed. Oh, that glee. Wow, it's tonifying. Youthing, amplifying immune system. Can't catch a cold in the rain. You only catch a cold if your immune system is down. Rain has nothing to do with it.